A huge shout out to the overthinkers. An overthinker. He watches the show. To the overthinkers, shout out my fair too.
Keep inspiring the next generation.
Shout out to the overthinkers. Tando Pela. Much love.
To my overthinkers, mamelo uqhopho ngeke kuphume buyakhula nizinja nikhokho yazini as overthink is overachieve.
I'm stealing that. I've stolen that one. I've stolen it.
Are Coach Shorty as overthinking siya overachiever. That is what Coach Shorty said. Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mokwena. I am your host, and this show is all about South African football, African football, and every now and then we dip our toes into Europe to go see what's happening in Orkant. The show is on 4 times a week, but there is some scheduling changes that happen every now and then. But I will be live, like today on Fridays. But also, if Chiefs, Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, Bafana, Banyana are in action as well, we will be here and live. So this weekend, we are going to be watching the Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates games. We should have been watching a game today. But Royal AM is only being auctioned, apparently, allegedly, in the coming week. So we're going to see how that pans out. But welcome, everybody. It's a very interactive show. I need you guys to know that you can jump in and you can speak to me by joining me live on TikTok right now if you're watching on YouTube. Clicking on that multi-guest button at the bottom of your screen, I'll let you in and you can join me in speaking about whatever our topic is going to be for the night. Okay. Obviously, like I said, South Africa and Africa is our focus, but every now and then those things intersect. And this is one of those days. Last night, we had the draw for the CAF Champions League and the Confed Cup. Yesterday afternoon, we had the draws for the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confed Cup. And of course, we've got 3 South African teams that have made it through to the knockout stages. So I want to hear from you guys how you feel about what has happened here. Now, I'm going to start off with Stellis. Stellis is going to be playing Zamalek. Zamalek are the current holders of the Confed Cup. They will be meeting in those quarterfinals. The other teams who have made it through are ASEC Mimosas, Ivorian team, RS Berkane from Morocco. You have CS Constantin. Constantin from Algeria, USM Alger from Algeria, Al Masri Simba. Al Masri from Egypt and Simba from Tanzania. Those are the teams that have made it through. The fixtures are Mimosa versus Berkane, Constantin versus Alger, Al Masri versus Simba, and then of course Stellis versus Zamalek. In the CAF Champions League, we also have 2 teams on that side that are going to be representing us. And that, of course, is Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns. The teams that have made it through are Al Ahly, who will be playing Al Hilal. So Al Ahly from Egypt playing Al Hilal from Sudan. You have Pyramids, also from Egypt, currently number 1 in Egypt, playing versus AS FAR from Morocco. Then you have Orlando Pirates versus MC Alger. And then, of course, Mamelodi Sundowns taking on ES Tunis. Now, today, since it's a Friday, guys, I'm going to keep it a little bit open. So we're not going to do panels per se. All I'm going to say is when you come in, I'm going to give you 2 or 3 minutes to just tell me what you think about whichever of the teams that you are following and what you want to see. And then I may ask you a follow-up question or 2. So let's get straight into it. Feel free to request. Guys, the multi-guest is open. While you do that, I'll just give you a little bit more stats about each of the teams while I just get some people jumping in. Okay. Mamelodi Sundowns versus ES Tunis. ES Tunis is currently number 1 in the Tunisian Liga Pro. Of course, Elias Mokwena is one of the star players there, having signed from Iskukune. They finished number 1 in Group D, and they get to face Mamelodi Sundowns, number 1 in the PSL, with their former coach, Cardoso. Came straight from ES Tunis into Mamelodi Sundowns. It's a coach, he was the coach that beat Mamelodi Sundowns last time out. So this is a little bit of a grudge match, knowing that ES Tunis knocked Mamelodi Sundowns out last year. When we go to the Orlando Pirates game, versus MC Alger, MC Alger are number 1 in the Algerian league. They, of course, make it through, make it through number 2 in Group A, beating out Yanga and TP Mazembe. TP Mazembe finishing last in that that group. Then Orlando Pirates, on the other hand, number 2 in the PSL, they finished number 1 in Group C, knocking, well, the teams that stayed behind in Group C are CR Belouizdad and Stade d'Abidjan. And then, of course, you have Stellies, number 7 in the PSL. They graduated, they got through the Group B, number 2, leaving behind Lundasul and Stade Malien. And then, of course, Zamalek, number 3 in Egypt. The holders of the Confed, like I said, they're currently, they got through number 1 in Group D, leaving Enyimba and Black Bulls behind. Let me speak to Agent. Agent, my brother, welcome to the show. How are you?
Shalom, my brother. How are you?
Hey, man, the electricity came back.
Hey. Money, 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 money.
I'm sure you want to speak about Sundowns. I don't know if you want to attack it holistically first before going into Sundowns.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely finish with Sundowns. But as always, Pirates get an easier draw, but how easy it will be, I don't know, because I think they've shown that they can beat CR Belouizdad home and away, and Belouizdad is 2 points off Alger. So what does that say about the strength of the league? The strength of Pirates? I don't know. But then again, Pirates has been on a bit of a decline. I don't know. But then also you look at the path that they're on. Should they win, they either face Pyramids or what is that team that Pyramids is facing?
It's Pyramids or ASFAR, FAR.
Or ASFAR. So I think if you look at that bracket, quote unquote, is an easier bracket. I think if you look at those teams, Spiro, I think none of them are going to the Club World Cup, if memory serves me right, so I'm just saying, I'm not complaining, I'm just stating facts, and then you go to the other side, Ahly and Al Hilal. Al Hilal performed greatly. I think they qualified within the first 4 matches, and then they have one of my favorite coaches, someone who I thought Kaizer Chiefs would bring, but anyways, we're not there because he doesn't have the PR, as you call it, or the hype, but he's one of the 3 coaches who were the first to qualify, not qualify, but obtain CAF Pro, together with Pitso and the Moroccan guy, so he has built...
Just say his name before you move on.
Florent Ibenge.
There we go.
Yeah. So I thought a team like Chiefs could need him, but he's built Al Hilal. And then I don't know, Al Hilal playing in I don't know, I'm forgetting which league they're playing in.
Sudanese league.
No, they're from Sudan, but because of the conflict, they relocated to, is it Mauritania, something. Yeah, they're playing in the same level as Maniema, I think, in the same league, I think. So I think that has helped them in terms of the quality of teams they face, and then I think a year back, I think they needed a point or lose by 1-0 to qualify for quarterfinals, and Ahly beat them 3-0. So that's the revenge match that you're talking about. And then
can I just? Oh, okay. Wait. Do you want to go to Stellies? Because there's a question I want to ask you.
Yeah, Stellies. Stellies is a game versus Zamalek. The original Shikabala is there, but you're not there. No, but I think it's a typical game in the sense that it's a clash of everything. It's a clash of cultures, a clash of setup, it's a clash of everything. Firstly, in terms of the clubs, the youth-orientated Stellies, but you take Zamalek, the squad is on a decline. It's an aging squad, it's an old squad, and then Stellies that are just new into the thingy, into CAF competitions. Zamalek are the champions, so they are used to the stake. You look at also. Excuse me, the fan base. I mean, in terms of the club setup, I think they got rid of that coach 2 weeks back, if not a week back. And then how long Steve Vack has been there. So it's a clash of styles. Yeah.
Can I just ask you? I wanted to ask you on the Pirates one. Is Pirates the easier bracket? Because I mean, sometimes MCL Jebana Kibona. bajang batho.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, like I said, you look at the other bracket, you have 3 clubs which are going to the Club World Cup, which means this has been the best 3 sides in the last 4 years. You know, you look at Asfar, you look at USM Alger. I think USM Alger, I think, is the only one which last won the Continental Championship. I don't know, maybe it was Confed Cup.
A while ago.
Maybe. A while back, you know. So you look at that side, it is an easier side, to be honest with you, football mental side, And then Esperance, how good was the coach or how good was the team? Will we sold the dummy or not? I think that's the main question that side, But and also you look at the team. I think for me, they have one of the most expensive squads, if not one of the best squads. So yeah, that's my view, man.
So then, are you scared at all about Mamelodi Sundowns versus ES Tunis? Because, like we said, last year they were the team that knocked you out. I know that man, coach thing, but does that play on Mamelodi Sundowns? Is it something that could come in psychologically?
Yeah, no, definitely. But if you recall, how did we lose? One quick counter, we lost. It was not a case of we outclassed, So we have the coach and we have the same person, more or less the same personnel. So let's see how good the coach was. Because remember, again, not to rub salt onto old wounds, but he was able to prepare for the Sundowns game within a week, because I think he was hired 2 weeks before. No, the Sundowns game before.
Yeah. Okay.
He was hired a week before or 2 weeks before. And Pirates, it took him 24 hours. I'm joking, but yeah. So we'll see how good he is actually. And again, this is a start that Abuti dislikes or hates or agrees with, whatever it is. I'm gonna say it. Whenever Sundowns gets knocked out of CAF Champions League, they play the second leg home. Always, except in 2017 against one of the Arab teams, and even that game we didn't lose. We lost on penalties. But every time we get knocked out, the second leg is at home. But now the first leg is at home, and also against Ahly, the second leg is at home. I mean, the first leg is at home. So maybe that's a good omen. Yeah, cheers, man.
Before you go, I still want to ask.
Okay.
I'm seeing that it's a bit slow.
I thought you were gonna come back, but okay.
Man, it's fine. I can already cheers. So
Right.
how do you approach this game? Do you approach this game with the thought of last minute, this is how they beat us, this is how we usually get beaten? Do you approach the game going, it's a quarterfinal, and the quarterfinals is not necessarily the hump? Do you think that Mamelodi Sundowns is going to change anything or approach this game differently?
Do you know what was been Sundowns' major downfall? It has been that we play the same, away, home or away. It doesn't matter if you're home, it doesn't matter if you're away, we still want to dominate the ball. And it's easy to plan against that, because then you are able to just sit back and then win, against Sundowns. Now, Coach Cardoso against Paris has shown that he sometimes is willing to defend, and we've seen Sundowns defensively as a unit be improving, so
Rolls-Royce Stallone.
Yeah, and we see Ribeiro also coming back to help those expensive cars. Our Bugattis are also coming back to defend, and everything. So I think what's gonna make this thing more interesting and different is home you're gonna dominate, sure, but away you're gonna sit back and catch them on the counter, and that's where Arenas comes in, and that's where Shirley comes in. So I think it's a case of we're gonna have different approaches, and that's what makes maybe tip the scale on our side. Yeah.
Okay. Let me bring in Zwad. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good in you,
Zwad?
OT.
There we go. How are you, my brother?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Tell me about
you hear
this. I don't know. I
I'm
can.
good.
Oh, there we go. No. Tell me about
Alright.
this. Do you want to also touch on the different matchups before getting into one of them? Hey, Zod, carry the network is not networking, man.
Yeah, and I think I'm back now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Go ahead, my brother. How do you feel about this draw?
Yeah. No, I think, yeah, very interesting, bro. Very, it will separate boys from men. So they say. They got in terms of Sundowns, they're making it. It will be, I think, very difficult. Sundowns on paper have difficult route to the final, having
Zod, can I just take you off? Cause I'm gonna bring you back in.
Ahly and
Try request again, because I think the network is not networking. Just request again and we'll see if it'll work out this time. But in the meantime, let me bring you to Kumo. Kumo.
How's it, OT? How are you?
Man kimonati man Kumo. Ke show ya lona ena.
Ke show ya rena.
Yeah, lona ba di Champions League.
Ish, wena mara wa wira so, umpetila ka twena ka vurvai. Negere ko hatela gere, ufila yona laga Champions League. Now you beat me to it. I wanna go try la ba dilizi ba OT.
Kumo, how do you feel about this draw, man?
Why ni lo kata? Nosna Harare, nosna Mombasa, nosna Timbuktu.
Cape Town.
Na kelo hanging why always see Africa re nyatsa bya na ka dio tsa re na wi.
Marawa ye le chelete kwa phela ke chelete ya teng e tlang ka mo mane fundang di tournament tsena. O visit Saudi.
Se lo bona ka ba ira UEFA Champions League go ntwena ko Melbourne, Australia or go Rwanda. Tse dintse mara wa re arna pride re na mo cafe. Arna pride the shame. So man, in terms of like the actual draw, as a fan, it's excited. And if I'm talking about like Africa football as a whole, because we know who the only draw cards Molekal Ahly, le Sundowns.
Yeah.
Baba Mbona 195 kana lady. But like they squeeze in one. So as opposed as a patriot in Garlon. Finally, and Ahly potentially we meet go Wangutla.
Yeah, Kahutla. Yeah. Just say that last part.
As I was saying, potentially we're gonna meet Pirates go final, and Ahly on semi-final or even last king. Yeah, go semi-final and then. So it's gonna be great television because with Ahly, even though people don't want to admit it, it's a start of a great new rival between Ahly and Sundowns. And yes, we know we've got one star up 2016, but really right.
Mara Kumo currently unfair. Kawana, I think ES Tunis higher winner 2 in the last 6 or 7 years. Aren't those the rivals, man? Bo witati ban.
Rivals say it's more than what you have won. Like when you play against Ahly, it's always an emotive occasion because there's history. Remember the story Kohore, they've got a former Sundowns player who plays it out they had rather. They also had Pitso
allegedly tried to sign Saling. Allegedly.
You like what I was serious about Saling. No matter what I Sundowns so Nabanyaka Sirino ntse ba dlalla mo ka flaha wa bona bolela ka Sundowns ka mapereta one hoka level like we were the first team ko fa Damane 5-0 or wa bona rival e bya le bona ba ritse my brother ba ritse ko roka level all this Arab speaking journalists but yeah Sundowns you know that team is dangerous Sundowns wa tlhalohanya so It's a dream fixture for the sponsors. It's a dream fixture for the sponsors. And nahana ha per level la final ele Pirate. Even though you over to Tamara, it's gonna be nice. Hotla
Yeah.
go Orlando, hotla go Loftus. Nahana two PSL teams go finale. Hotla. It's gonna be one of the epic matches in terms of rival.
Mara kopa ubutsa Kumu, kopa ubutsa. And please, I'm not trying to be snug. Let's have a Pirates go finally.
How ke careful VAR ona bungile Tom. Ona influence ya khoza ka no raga fitla. Motsepa half. Wa ntlhaloganya. O tla dira go Nedbank Cup go di Carling go di MTN. Sharp mo re ka motshaba. Not this time. It's a motho mo lebelletse. O e tlhaloganya.
So Kumo, the South African teams, man. How happy are you with the South African teams? Do you think that this means that we're moving forward Kapolarona? Because we're seeing here, I mean, Algeria, Egypt has 4 teams. We've got 3. Algeria, Banali, Tunyana. How do you feel about South African football in terms of the African context of everything?
So we've been saying these 3 teams from South Africa are the top 3 we have currently in our league. And I say it's a good representative for how strong our league is. Mazembe get the best teams of younger mama.
Bottom of the log, TP
Mazembe. The influence ka team di SABC ka di bad quality. Now because everyone can see them, also not those tactics. If they were a proper team, but in terms of what I'm looking at now, it says our team is strong. Nahana Pirate the kuno fika last it look have. Nahana Stellenbosch. Listen down to the consistency thing. And about as a fellow PSA, like a Sadiki. Always again North African teams see me being le central like our Mazembe so dominant we don't like we won't see the same style of play because why you to help Esperance Ahly Zamalek is Tunis badlala ka utshwana so no roto bona di re go bona Rivero sorry re go bona bo Rivero be dio tsa bona re ke bona bo president Mabentene a dio tsa hae tito ntse namela ball it's going to be embarrassing but it's something different so yeah I'm happy overall.
Okay. No, thank you. Let me go to Terence. Terence, what's up to the show? How are you?
The brother. How are you?
Linton.
Ke Diamond ka mo Pitori.
Oh.
Mr. OT.
Bale, let's go Tunisia, man.
Ish, you know, I was telling somebody yesterday, ish, we one of this team. Esperance de Tunis.
Yeah.
It's giving me sleepless nights, this team. I think it's 2 times Barnoka out, my bra.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 times. And consecutively so. Katatelano, consecutively so. I think we draw 2-2 Lewana before Kamol of Tas. And then we draw 0-0 Lewana go Tunisia. Yeah, we draw our own goal and Vala.
Nesi witati ki witati.
Oh yeah, nearly we died. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but Chile home na way. Ish, but Chile home na way 1-0 me bra. Rulani at starting 11 sa bafana swile go banking me bra. My one. But either way, I'm happy about this draw. I'm happy about this draw. The team on our side between Sundowns and Ahly, whomever gets out of those groups, the groups, will win the CAF Champions League.
Okay, no, go on.
Yeah, between Sundowns and Ahly, the one who reaches the final, one of them will win the cup. Okay, Shapu, let me be a patriotic South African fan. I understand. I'm happy we're pirating, but ke lebeletse mindset wa Patrick wa Butito Maswangane bo re lebohile Mofokeng Pirates players mindset ya bona wa ntshwara kra ba braka me brother going to North Africa. It's a mental game, my brother. It's a very high mental game. One understand. Those people know how to win the competition by tactics.
Yeah.
By tactics, they know how to win the game, the competition by tactics. One understand. They will win. They will win. I get to Batoma Orlando Pele.
I think so. I could say, but I'm not sure. Mara,
But let's say for argument's sake, Batoma go Algeria and they come back to Orlando. It's gonna be a very long 90 minutes for Pirate, my brother.
Mara, wouldn't you say? Okay, can I ask you? Does Orlando Pirates' cup success, Mokom Zanzi, does it translate into the Champions League? Do you think that maybe they know how to win the game? Would it translate, or is it a completely different thing?
Jeli Chabani, Abongile Tomo, Kimangomungu, Parkamangomungu. Parkemang, gas or Gemang, ke gas or Gemang, this referee. Mang gasa, Abating Chumiaka. Finally, a Nedbank Cup, Moses Mabida, Mona Parkemang, Patrick Tito Masangan, Udripa Tapelo Murena. Abongile Tomar penalty.
Yeah.
O faula bona literally Tito Masangan o faula Tapelo Murena. Abongile Tomar penalty. So go CAF I did thing Ibrayaka. I say Nedbank Cup, papa. Whoa, wait. Bo, I say MTN 80, but I say Stellenbosch, Sebas Jilenga Europa. No.
Mara, okay. Mara, Sundowns. Going into this game versus Esperance de Tunis, do you think that the factory Barinokile out plays some sort of psychological role? Hallelujah, now. Or is it just another quarterfinal? Let's quarterfinaling, whether balls have crossed the line or not. Do you think that it's
Joe, let me tell you something, OT. My brother. Stop being a Kaizer Chiefs fan, and I know. You know, Mr. OT. Stop being a Kaizer Chiefs fan, and I know. Take that Kaizer Chiefs away, my brother. I want to be a Kaizer Chiefs fan. I can't look at Joe.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, man. Sundowns take every game as it comes.
Okay.
One understand what happened prior. It doesn't count. When we plan according to the next game, we play every game as it comes. We focus on that particular game. We don't save players for we're saving this player or that player for a certain team. But one thing that I like is it would be a nice spectacle for the SADC region if Sundowns would go to the final Pirate. Understand? It will show the capacity. Our league. And then we libel it's always the SADC region like Reina, South Africa versus the North African teams. Understand the brag. It shows you the caliber of the PSA. Understand? One-on-one, should there be no foul play on the day, Pirate and Sundowns will go to the final. If there will be no foul play, there will be no. If there will be no foul play, my brother, I guarantee you this: Sundowns and Pirate will go to the final. One understand?
Mara, look at the people you're playing. MC Alger, #1 Algerian league. AS Tunis, #1 Tunisian league. Al Ahly, #2. Pyramids, #1. AS Fard, #3. Al Hilal, #3. These are top teams. Is it really that our teams are that good?
On our side, there are 3 teams that are going to the Club World Cup. It's Sundowns, Esperance de Tunis, and Al Ahly. It's the tougher side. Orlando Pirates. It's equivalent to Skukuni United. It's nothing that side. Al Hilali, Alja. There's nothing there. If Pirate abai rope, I'm not saying otherwise. If Pirate abai rope, finally. If Pirate abai rope, I know the North African teams did Jalabia. They will frustrate Orlando Pirates to the core. They will frustrate Orlando. Diamonds. Pirates must not give those people a chance to score away from home. They must not do that. Otherwise, it's game over. If those guys score, Boa has 7, our take our reach. All our referee are only 100, Pamla 5. Yeah. They will play mind games and they know how to minus you. Hey, those people are dangerous, brag. They will. And then now, wait, Mr. Oti, let me finish by saying this. For the longest time, I thought that Bo Al Ahly, Wydad Casablanca, and those teams, I thought they were better teams. But only to find out when time goes on, when Sundowns and Pirates start to participate more on the Champions League, there was no teams. These people will be started about winning Europa. On the day, one-on-one, Sundowns and Pirates are playing a better football than those North African teams. That's why Bafana should we face Algeria, Morocco, and Rwanda at any given time. Because of we as South Africans, I'm standing on behalf of Sundowns and Pirates. I'm saying on behalf of Bonageri. I'm praying every day where I wish for a Sundowns and Pirate final.
Okay. Hey, Star Wars.
Yeah, kibanyaka kamu Loftus Versfeld kamu Slaughterhouse kamu bakrileng 4 kamula kibanyaka kamu teng re no setse green pila di tlhartsa gogo maweni di ka sbereki we no gogo maweni has been arrested di tlhartsa ya di bereki
yeah, thank you. Mara, for time's sake, Terence, for time's sake, guys, please, like, please tap the screen. Also, Kupari gift, man. Thank you to Sipo. Thank you to Jamie, box to box register from Tanzania. Thank you to Papa Hosi Tabele. Thank you, guys. Hey, I've been challenged by Jamie to watch more of the league that side. Imagine they want me to watch Azam. I want to watch a younger because we've got ties. Thank you, cheers. Let me go to Marumekuso. Marumekuso.
Telulu.
What do you think of? How are you, my brother?
I'm well, and how are you?
Man, I'm good, my brother.
On behalf of all the overthinkers, I would like to thank you for remaining impartial and contributing positively with the truth. Nebarbai, it's a Deshaka bit of the truth with the younger line. Low blow. He was on his knees for a long time. In favor of Pirates, OT. I'm calling on all. Has contains Agala. Sorry, Mr. OT. Contains Agala like South Africa. I'm calling on all Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, and the other 13 teams in the league to start telling the truth about Mamelodi Sundowns. Because they like to play victim. We must start preaching the gospel of how they won last season, having benefited for almost the first 7 games. Whether they cheated on purpose or they benefited, but we saw the first 7 games of the PSL. They come here and speak a positive one. Against Sibaye Global Stars or whatever, Golden Stars, Baro Pabantoana, let's not forget with one of their goals was offside. Makosi, Mapagania, Stellenbosch, let's tell the truth about this Sundowns team. Lento le utazofika la bathi hey Pirates ya Europa. Le final le bathi sibaropenga baropi Chiefs ku semi-final kuze bafike kuyo. When they talk about Abongile Tom, they must also talk about that ref who, when Tanzania was fouled, ran 100 sprints like Usain Bolt, not looking back, wire. Till today, that ref has not stopped. That's why I'm game not till today. So lento le Sundowns is my victim. Younger, stand up and talk with Banropa and Puma. They've been benefiting. Ask our coach, and even when they beat us 4, Tito Pumile but offside when he was from an onside position. Even against Yes Galaxy, they tried to benefit. Thank you, Mr. Uti.
I wanted to go into the Champions League. Where do you want to start with it? Pirates getting through. MCLJ, people are saying it's an easier draw. People are saying all those things. How do you feel about the draw in general and then Pirates?
Mr. Uti, you asked someone about Sundowns, they kept ranting and raving about the star that they have via backdoor. But anyway, Tina Esne star, is winile. Slali CAF winner. I love win through administrative errors of Nyama team. We are happy with Siyaya Kona, Mr. Uti. We are pleased with we've passed the first stage. Yama Kanaba Bitsang qualifier. We've passed the second stage, Yama group stage. So school it's the real test, manji, which is knockout. But after the draw, they started saying, wait for the semi-final. So I'm happy for all South African teams, Mr. Uti, the likes of Stellies, Orlando Pirates going up there. I think it's a chance for us to understand football. We need to sometimes accept with maybe our understanding of football lacks a bit of depth. Which is why we keep losing to Abu Ahly, Abu Esperance and the likes, you understand? And by the way, apart from North Africa, the next person who challenges North Africa is TP Mazembe. They're not from the southern region. We need to stop this thing of being pompous. They have five stars. And Sundowns cannot be saying they are challenging, they are representing everyone else against North Africa. TP Mazembe has 5 stars. Esperance, I think, has 4. And they are on the side of Ahly.
Yeah.
So to say
Zamalek has 5, yeah.
To say it's between Sundowns and Ahly, it's unfounded. Yamangaza, Mr. Uti. Let's wake up, guys. Even Hansa doesn't even use Vuyo as a big dreamer anymore. Let's face reality, guys. Being a big dreamer. What I'm saying is, we also need to find a way. You know, I'm not a fan of Nkululeko, Mr. Oti.
Yeah.
But when he spoke about being beaten into submission, I'm just paraphrasing. The team that usually wins the prestige tournaments usually dictates how teams play. And you understand that until it happened in Sundowns, Mr. Oti, where they dished their beautiful football. Well, they still play sparingly the beautiful football. But you can see, in pursuit of in pursuit of that star, they've taken up what they think works most. Having watched the Ahly, they've been beaten into submission by the likes of Ahly, the likes of Esperance, the likes of White Hart. Now I'm worried with the southern region, or south of the equator, to say, are you looking at that as well, and are you falling for the trap? You understand? I'm happy when I see Abu Tito doing what they do, Mr. Oti, even on that stage, to say, we can win playing like this. This is football. And for me, I feel like African football really depends on us doing well and winning, playing our style of football, so that we can convince the entire continent that positive football does pay off, Mr. Oti. Because as you can see...
But is it like that for Bafana? Because when we are now climbing up, a lot of people are complaining that we're not playing our football completely.
Well, it's very difficult to listen to those people, because when you win, they'll point to Sundowns and Kanakima and Coach Rulani. But sometimes when the results are not going positive, they'll tell us about Coach Hugo Pros. You see, with Coach Hugo, Mr. Witty, what I like is that it's a blend of both worlds. In a sense of Witty, he does allow that creativity to creep in, but at the right moments, you understand, with the likes of Tembazwane being the shining star, allowing Tembazwane to shine. Actually, his system benefits to Tembazwane. It pronounces him more than the other system that we will favor, you understand. So I look at that, Mr. Utin, and I'm like, okay, Hugo doesn't totally dismiss the South African way of playing, but instead he improves it. He brings in a different dimension to it. So just like Coach Rivero. Coach Rivero is very defensive, Mr. Uti. Starting point Pirates is make sure that the defense is solid. That's why we've got 2 anchors. Make sure that we are pegged and compact, Mr. Oti. However, he allows the South African gene to pass through a teammate. For example, you've got Utito, who apparently it's embarrassing, but he's allowed to express himself on the pitch. You've got Urile, who is given the space, not only allowed, but he's given the space by not only the coach, but the players around, Mr. Oti. So I just want Pirates and Staleys to win these cups so that we can advocate for positive football.
Can I
Not
ask you, just for time's sake, I just wanted to ask you quickly, Maru, because do you think that your experience in the local cups, the style of play that Pirates plays, because in as much as we're saying that it's a little bit different from North Africans, Pirates, when it comes down to the big games, they're able to do the same thing. Absorb. 90 plus 3. Goal goes in, relay stands up and it does something. How do you think Pirates' previous experience will come into this part of this tournament?
Look, Mr. Oti, yes, we've been able to play cup games, but the opponents are important. We'd be delusional and naive to think which it's going to be the same like CAF, you understand? The animal we are presented with is pretty much the same, unlike PSL teams, abalashayo, like Sundowns, benokufika nje ifike namaplayer wonke itshela ukuthi okay, now we're preparing for extra time. And we still switched on because we're thinking the cup is not over. We're not preparing for extra time. We play till the last minute. And I think the other African teams, the North African teams as well, they can do that as well. They can think in that way to say, it's like when we see Coach Cardoso losing, go Ghana King, where was it? Was it go Congo?
Oh, yeah, well, Raja. Oh, okay, Congo, yeah, when Maniema had come back.
Yeah, I think it's Raja. Yeah, Raja. That's correct. And he makes defensive changes because he's aware that the tie or the greater picture does not only fall on this game. This goal difference is everything. So I think those guys, about North Africa and maybe just above the equator, they also think in that way, Mr. Oti, to say, as in as much as these guys are winning 2-0, we don't really need to go and try and get 2-2, or yes, we can get 2-1. Shout out to God if we get 2-1. But what's most important, we just defend and make sure we damage limitation. So pragmatic Manyama team, I think into is a challenge for Tina, Mr. Oti. But Nyegisha will be able to rise up. So Besmele Vele Lama 94, Lama 95, like we did Mbombela, Mr. Oti. If we take it to penalties, like we did Moses Mabhida against Sundowns, like we did Moses Mabhida against Stellies, like we did Mbombela against Sundowns, like we did Polokwane against Sundowns again. Angaze wabangayibali, Mr. Oti. We'll try and do that with CAF, Mr. Oti. And my time is up. PSL teams, let's start preaching the truth about this team that has been benefiting over and over and over and over. Coach Mr. Oti, lo wakijima. Eza ngimkhohli wakijima. Yo, angaza ngabona refa gijima kangaka. Amele nikile ngepenalty. Bamkhabile umdantsane. Career kamdantsane iphelile today. Mdantsane would have been a star. Throughout the Chiefs kube yaphela, but that ref is still running even today. Thank you, Mr. Oti.
Thank you, Malumekuso. Hey, allegedly. Hey, Milakazingedi. Benny, welcome to the show. How are you?
Mr. Oti, Brayak.
Man, how are you, bro?
I can't complain, thanks, man. To the viewer, to the people on the panel and the one on the comment section, man.
Oh, tell me about this draw, man. Tell me about this draw.
I'll get to the draw, Mr. Oti. There are people here coming with disclaimers that are not even signed here. People claiming like Orlando Pirates has been robbing them all over the Cubs and everything. Bruh, they are failing to defeat Urivel when it comes to Cubs. They must accept it. Was there any influence at Polokwane when Munapole Saleng was rolling them on the grass, the 3-0? Was there any influence there? We went with them, Moses Mabhida. They wanted a penalty. Even today, they still say it's a penalty. I don't know whether they don't do reviews. They saw Peter Shalule blocking the goalkeeper. But for them, that action must be ignored and be awarded a penalty because they are sissies in this game, bruh. They cry a lot. They cry a lot to these people, my brother. They are not used to this banter thing. If their team was losing like Kaizer Chiefs, I think they were going to die because they cry a lot. They are cry babies, man. Once you touch their players, they come and complain, here you are too harsh to our players. Yeah. They were singing Tito Futseka Stadium. Nobody cried. Nobody demanded an apology.
Yeah.
Now they demand an apology because now Usales has been called a scam. They were calling Urivero, Marigimankibeto no Yanaso. They called him a scam. When we turn the table to say Sales is a scam, now they say, no, you guys are too harsh on Sales. Who should support that? We are not going to support anything, bruh. We have beaten them on these finals and this cup game, and we have prepared ourselves to play semi-finals. We are on quarterfinals now. We are going to test ourselves against the North.
Okay.
Yeah. So coming to the draw.
Let's get into how do you feel about this draw?
Yeah, coming to the draw, Mr. OT. The draw, I think it's a very balanced draw. As much as I feel like Mamelodi Sundowns is on the side whereby the draw is strong. Why I'm saying this, if you look at the teams on the other side whereby Mamelodi Sundowns is going to play and face if they progress into semi-final, of which I believe they are going to progress into semi-final. But my worry is, and I've been saying this most of the platforms that I've been, Mr. OT, is that Coach Cardoso, take nothing away from him, but he coached this team. He's just, and the players that are at ES Tunis now, they know Coach Cardoso as much as Coach Cardoso knows them. So where's the trick now is that, is he going to try and change? Or is he going to play the way they know how to play for winning the Champions League? Because at the end of the day now, the stakes are very high. So there's a certain equilibrium that we need to balance. The Coach Cardoso knows them, and they also know him. So my question is he going to change the way he's going to play because he knows that these people know him, or he is going to trick them and sell a certain mind game and say, I'm going to play this way, while he knows that way is going to hurt them the most?
Can I ask you a different question?
Please.
So Mamelodi Sundowns has changed in the way that it's structured now, you know. Previously, it was Abo Rulani, Nabo Mangoba, Nabo Pitso, they'd all been there, I think, Boma 10, 12 years, Line Pitso. Now, Coach Cardoso comes in, and it seems like now Sundowns is a business team. They don't have time for you anymore. How does that change the approach of Mamelodi Sundowns? Because, you know, I remember Coach Rulani coming out last season and saying, give me 3 more years. Give me three more years. Let me finish my contract. Whereas Cardoso now in this Sundowns might not have that leeway. How does that change how Mamelodi Sundowns approaches this match?
I'm also confused when it comes. Because now Sundowns plays the way that they are playing for results. I understand. Also on the other side, they were playing the same thing. They were not concerned about ball position. The North Africans, they are not concerned about ball position. They want results. So Coach Cardoso was coaching the same team for the same drive, which is results-driven system. Comes to Sundowns, change the setup for results-driven system now. So that's where the trick I'm saying there is. My concern is that they know each other. So how it's going to pan out, it's either him being very smart to say, let me trick them. Maybe he's going to take segments in the games because he's a smart coach. He can play in segments. 15 minutes he plays the same this way. After 15 minutes, he's totally changed the system. So he's good in that. So I'm not sure how he's going to approach it, but today, the only thing that I've been highlighting is that they know each other very well. The coach knows ES Tunis, and ES Tunis knows Coach Cardoso.
How do you feel?
So coming to...
Okay, no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Because I don't want to be in a space where perhaps Sundowns fans feel like this guy is on us. He does not want to go to Orlando Pirates. You understand? Thank you, Mr. Oti. Coming to Orlando Pirates, to be honest, even our technical team, the only person that understands maybe quarterfinals is Mandla Ncikazi, who was there at 2016-2017 when we lost ECC, Samba Nofatu David. Yeah. So that's Coach Mandla Ncikazi. The rest of the team, it's going to be a new thing to them. It's the first time they'll be playing an African quarterfinal. But are we prepared? I feel we are prepared because we have played against the best. If we say Mamelodi Sundowns is the best in Africa, and we have played against Mamelodi Sundowns certain times. If you look at last season, we lost the Orlando nge penalty kamshish, which was considered a very soft penalty against Upalone. They don't talk about such things because they won. You understand? So we are tested against, but now we are playing in MC Alger. The only weapon that we have, OT, in South African, in the South African football style is the pace.
Yeah.
The North Africans, they don't like when you are going to run at them. Look how we outclassed this CR Belouizdad. Nkota taking the defenders and he left them for dead. Once you play pace, you are going to win them. Look at what Coach Rulani ku AFL or Stokfela lesa Stokfela sokwashimali lesa. But in AFL, yeah. Look at what Tapelo Masego was doing to them. You see, look at what the Tapelo Masego did to them.
Yeah.
Gone, got pace, one. So gone, got pace. So if you are going to play them according to your strength, don't allow them to detect play. Yes, they are very smart. They can allow you to play only 60 minutes, 30 minutes. They'll be dropping down, stand up, then rolling. But I think we need to be smarter for them. Play the same football that we play. That is why yesterday when I was on live, when I spoke about Stellenbosch, I said Stellenbosch and Zamalek, if you look at their structure, they almost played a similar thing because they are content with taking you in a counter press. Once you sleep with counter press, they are gone. Stellenbosch also the same thing. Once you sleep with counter press, you will see them celebrating because they are good with counter presses. So those are the things that are going to assist us.
Can I ask, when you speak about that with Pirates, isn't it a good thing that Pirates doesn't have experience or recent experience with CAF Champions League, that you're looking at this Champions League a little bit fresh? And could you argue that maybe Mamelodi Sundowns is overthinking the Champions League nowadays?
I don't know whether you still remember when we spoke about when Mamelodi Sundowns threw the last game of their group stages, where I said, now we need to understand between experience and trauma. I don't know whether you still recall that day.
Yeah.
I said it because the reason they decided to play for a draw is because they wanted to finish away. That's how they justify it. But we also questioned whether are they experienced or are they traumatized by the stage? They want to go past this stage by any means. So as much as you ask that question, I still feel like Mamelodi Sundowns has the experience. But is it until they overthinking it now that we have been failing in this hardly for so long, and they are putting more stress on it, and it might come and affect them and their players because now there is overemphasis in this stage now.
Okay.
So coming to Orlando Pirates being
very quickly.
All right.
Quickly.
For Orlando Pirates being new, I don't think people will pay so much attention that Orlando Pirates is new, because if you look at what they did in the group stages, to be honest, they have highlighted their strength to the continent and say, okay, yes, they are new, but they are capable. So I don't think they will just look at them and say, this is a new kid, these are new kids in the block. They were going to do a thorough preparation for Pirates.
Okay. No, Benny, thank you so much. Guys, tap the screen, please tap the screen. And also, man, kupari gift, guys. Thank you, Sipo. Thank you, Tshwanelo. Thank you, Papa Khos in Tabeleng. Thank you to Tshwane, Box to Box, Jamie. Thank you to Ntabeleng. I already said Tabeleng. Thank you, guys, for all of that. Let's carry on, man. Kupari gift, descending. Let me bring in Ukosi for live. Welcome to the show.
Hey, welcome. Kyatumelisa ko paneling. Likai Mr. OT.
Oh, man, repeat everything, man. Likai kamu.
Hey, kiteng OT. I'm learning OT. Now when say agent, but
how do you feel about this draw, man? I know Utitina, we're watching it from outside. Mara, how do you feel?
As a man, as a neutral man, and I want to start by saying to those guys, Sundowns and Pirates, guys, this is football. We are rivals, not enemies. All the teams, especially the big teams, the big three, have benefited since way back.
and it's not gonna be the last time. We're still gonna benefit, whether it's Chiefs, Pirates, or Sundowns. Let's stop saying this team benefited. Let's move on from that, guys.
Please tell them. Please
We
tell
know.
them please tell them to leave the Rothmans behind. Please.
Let's leave that behind. You are benefiting even today, but nobody complains. Let's talk about football.
Yeah.
Because I can see the it's a amapapa phezulu man OT. I was on the other line
Rothmans. When you said Rothmans, but hey, when I see you again.
Hey, that was a cigarette, Matod. We can't fight over a cigarette. We are too old enough. So that cup is gone. Let's move on, guys, from that. OT, my so wish for both these three teams. I so wish Stellenbosch can go as far as they can to this cup. Especially for them because they are new, and as Khosi fans, we've been there. We know that road. We conquered that cup in 2003 or 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
we won that cup. So yeah, 2001. I remember Mabeti, he scored the last penalty. I think it will be good, OT, because that's a Europa of Africa. It will be good for South African team to at least the second team to win that cup, because I'm sure we are all forgotten that we won that cup even here in South Africa. So that will refresh South African memory that there's another team. So even the team on the north will start to take us serious, even the world, because we've got two teams that are competing in CAF, and that team are competing in this cup. So I so wish to Stellenbosch can go as far as they can.
But they're playing. The current holders, Zamalek. Do you think that Stellis is strong enough to beat the holders of this trophy?
Anything is possible, OT, because my only worry against Stellenbosch is our fixtures in South Africa, because they are still participating in Nedbank, and also the games are coming too thick and fast in the league, and I don't think they have that in them that can continue to play those matches. Especially recently, they have been playing intensity matches, but the only advantage I think they will get is that most of their players I don't think they're gonna be selected in the squad, except for Beatin, maybe. Even Beatin, I don't think he will play. He will just travel. So to go, yeah, I think she's the only one. Maybe they will start considering Titus from the squad, because the guys have been calling him for Titus to be called on the squad, but we don't know. But the congestion of the fixtures might come to hamper their chances of progressing to the semis or quarterfinals. Going to Pirates, Amapakajojo, man, it's the first time I think in 10 years playing quarterfinals, or I think Beke was still a president, if I'm not mistaken. So it's new to them, and they won all the matches in group stages. So I think that could create a psychological damage to those players, because the teams that have won group stages, when it comes to knockout stages, I think psychologically they start to crumble. Maybe it's the pressure that we won those matches, or maybe sometimes to take those teams lightly, because they will tell themselves, no, we beat Ahly, the best team in Africa, as we say, is considered as the best team in Africa, which is true, because they have the most CAF Cups
I think it's
in their
15.
disposal. Yeah, so I think those players, maybe psychological, they will think that they're already there in the quarterfinals, not knowing that before you go to other group stage, to other phase, you have to beat the team that is in front of you, which is the unknown team. It's my first time. It's my first time in all truth hearing about this team. I don't know. I've never heard of it. But also that from Pirate side, they could psychologically, maybe, I don't know, OT, maybe they will take it slightly. And the other thing, the teams that, South African teams, when they are playing home, especially in crucial stages, they don't use the advantage of playing home. Because in group stages, you still have a chance to win. But now, you have 2 games, a home and an away game. South African teams were now OT in recent games or in recent tournaments, they don't use the advantage of playing home. At home, you have the fans. If you have to play dirty because you know when they go to those North African teams, nothing is easy there. But they are going there.
Are we ready to play dirty? Are we ready to play dirty? Montana, are we ready to be those teams? Or are we still, too much Ubuntu?
Yes, we show too much Ubuntu because as much we show too much Ubuntu, we haven't won this cup. Our South African teams, they won this cup only twice out of maybe 30 times. So those teams have won this cup. But when they come here, we treat them like kings, which is it's something that we should start. We should start copying their style, even on the ground, the systems, because they always play a low block. They will play for the draw here. They know when they go home, they're gonna win, irrespective if they win dirty or they win party. Their mandate is to win a game, especially when they're playing home. So South African teams, I think they should start adapting their style, their tactics, and all sorts of stuff. If you have to lock the change room, lock the change room. Just stabilize the team because we are too soft on this side. That's why we haven't won this cup.
But I want you just for time. I want you to quickly touch with Mamelodi Sundowns too.
Okay, to Sundowns, hey. Those guys, I think they are traumatized, man. They've been there, quarterfinals. I think it's them. It's traumatized more than the experience because I can't say they have experience because they're supposed to, at least to have won it twice. I don't have much to say about Sundowns because in these stages they are deliberate. Maybe the only difference, maybe the only disadvantage will be that team because they know Cardoso, which is Cardoso is their former coach. So they know Cardoso how he plays, and Cardoso, maybe the new coach there, obviously he doesn't know. You might know the players because you know the players, but the new coach, that is the Cardoso, doesn't know that coach which system is gonna apply on the game. So I think Esperance has more advantage than Cardoso because Cardoso is it's C1. He will play a low block or sometimes a mid block. So he doesn't attack those teams. We saw against even Pirates, they were playing a low block, that's what he likes to do. But in honest truth, I want them to come back early. These two teams.
For time's sake, I'm going to jump in. For time, I just need to jump in. Let me bring in Prati.
Brauti hojam brauti.
Ring Prati man. Hey, irubua ka batho ba bang. Roale eme a right dala ka jeno.
a ke rate gore ke bua ka batho ba bangwe mare re tla re ka gore royal e eme ke re direla dilo e ke rate ka o sane tla bene ka re ra seba kae re sa sebe bra ot e re ke thome ka go lebogisa team tse tiri tsa South Africa ke lebogise Orlando Pirates ke lebogise Masandawane ke lebogise le Stellenbosch go ka fitlhella ko di-knockout stage ke nagana gore Champions League re ska tla ra phasamiswa ra ithare re winne Champions League ko selong ko di-group stage ke nagana Champions League ke yone e tleng go starta nou yana ko di-knockout stage bra o re tlile go bona madota a nnete ga re tle go bona bashimanyana this time ke nagana gore ke mo Champions League re tleng go bona gore ke mang ke simolola ka Mamelodi Sundowns ke nagana gore Mamelodi Sundowns go ya ko Champions League ke must win for the born because of khale ba le mo le bazama ba boa mo di-knockout stage ba boa mo di-semi-final ba boa mo di-quarter final ke nagana ba ya mo le ke nagana gore ba tlise ba re ke mang ba tlise coach ba re ke mang Maguel Cardoso maybe ba batla go zama something new ba batla go bona gore if re ka tlisa coach e o tsebang like gore team tsa ko North Africa di dlala yang maybe a re bone gore e ka re berekela na because of Sundowns go bua nnete yone ba batla chefe more than Orlando Pirates mme Orlando Pirates ke utlwa batho ba re Orlando Pirates ba re Orlando Pirates hey new hand experience but Pirates wa bona once ka tsena go di-knockout stage ke nagana gore ba ka ya ba go bapala final and ke a go bolela bra uthi if Pirates ka final tlhobogang Stars a go Pirates once Pirates ya final a tlhobogang a ke bone gore team e tla tlang go selong gore a ke a luckily or ke experience or la re keng ba re e ya kwa Algeria tse di tla tlang di tla loka kwa Orlando Brauti and then Stellenbosch
mara re ba shebele fatshe man di team tsena ke bo number 1 bo number 2 ko leaking tsa teng hape rona re na le di start 2 fela re ba nyatse hanyane o man guys re tlo wina re tlo ba shapa batho ba
Brauti ke nagana dilo no yana di change le Brauti last nako tsele a ntse re tshameka bolo ntse la dibolo tse tsa selo se ke nagana Sundowns e tsene mo South Africa ya tla go ruta ya tla go re bula matlho a re bontsha gore proper structure se a tlhokega sometimes mo football like wa bona go signa di-player because of go bua nnete bra ot team tse di tseletsa ko North Africa di wina fela ntle le go understanda gore di wine like di na le ntho e ya go wina njela o ipotsa gore e wine yang because of go na le di-referee ba kgona go frustrata di-team tse dingwe wa bona like the way ba batla ka teng ba re ke nagana gore no this time especially this year a ka ntse ke lebelela Champions League ke nagana gore South African teams di improvile le the way di dlalang ke nagana gore our style of play they are far better than tsa ko North Africa ke nagana ya dilo di change about Orlando Pirates or Mamelodi Sundowns ba go ipontsha go chef gore like ba advertise style za South Africa bontsha gore South Africa re go pele than bone because of who are not recopied than born. That's why the team is really over now. Di tshameka go selo, di tshameka go the national team. Most of the players had the good national team. But lata the players are go Europe because of babana ntwe le gore dira gala mo Africa. The team tse di dala mo Africa bontsi ba tsone di tshameka without structure. Ke la gore bone mole le mole ba reka di players but alakili a ke batla go tswella go ntle alakili ke nagana gore ba na di player nyana than di team yana tse dingwe but team ke nagana gore Stars a bo ithuse tla South Africa then Stellenbosch Brauti ke wa riti ka Stellenbosch because of ba rekisa di player Brauti how come o compete go chef maro o bo rekisa bo Adams bo mang and ka mo ba thotse selo ba thotse ba rekeng ba thotse 5 not go selong go competition ya no happy ona le gore ba improve team ka January ba rekisa player ai Stellenbosch ha ke gane Brauti mara ke bone ba tle go loka go Confederations Cup Brauti
mara okay kupa go botsa then Prati, do you think that level ya South Africa is high or is it level ya Pirates le Sundowns that is high? And is it the same Kodi country setting?
Brauti, who are net Likiarna, somewhere some improve, but some certain teams like Nangabala, Sundowns, Kabala Pirates, then Kabala Stellenbosch, like Kikia, like the Weber, Kikia, the Weber Bapalang, Bolokating. Then Jabana was Kukuni, but I like teams that you if the guy chef on Yahora, teams are going to South Africa, Margina or Orlando Pirates, the way I think by to deal from Mamelodi Sundowns, so or how they recruit players, then for by Bangani chef because of our team is a good chef, they ready for chef, Brauti, but ready for chef and once one year go final, I wish 1 year go final or at least the Okopana delete to Mamelodi Sundowns Pirates, the Okopana delete to go final, Utiri advertise.
Marabrati, 30 years ago, fella, I think as South Africans, maybe the final, let's say 5-6 nyana.
Brauti, color Samika, I get your bola, Kumara Hoka, color Samka scope and donor football, Revina like in without the proper structure, Brauti, no, ya not really changing. Rijovan, plus the team Zelek who were net Brauti, Lauka Shebella. Last time Gita Shebella, Mecho Mua Raja Casablanca, Televisor, Samika Limuchef. Mecho is in Kaotela, Brauti is understanding to a Samiku and Kuala Mara, Brauti, where net South Africa. Recopili than North Africa or Haran like Yaritlamu, especially when no tournament in year Champions League. But in this time, the referee declared rob one of South Africa, it work as a bit too, Brauti.
Okay. No, thank you, Prati. Guys, can I ask in the comments? I want to ask in the comments. Is South Africans' problem, and I know Agent spoke about it in the beginning, is South Africans' problem that we think that our football is so superior? Whereas, wait till the stats and things like that say that the Arabs have been the ones that have been more successful in this. I mean, I believe Ahly is 15 titles. I believe ES Tunisia has 4. Zamalek has 5. TP Mazembe, not North, but TP Mazembe has 5. There's a lot of other teams that have been very successful in this thing. Wydad has 5. I believe it is 4 or 5. Are we overestimating our own football? And is that maybe our problem? Let me go to Ongam. Ongam, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, how are you, Uti?
Hi, man. Hey, me, I'm relaxed. I've got a day off. I'm preparing for the fest. How are you, my brother?
Hey, I'm great, Uti. Mara, why didn't pitch up on Monday? For review and also Thursday. I didn't see your reviews on Monday and Thursday for midweek and Monday.
Thursday, I shoot the podcast and chill network show. So Onside the Banter League, out now on podcast and chill. So we shoot that on Thursday, and then Monday, I had an event that I had to go to. But don't skawara, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I wanted to elaborate other things that I saw in my team on Monday and on Wednesday, but now I'll stick on to today's topic. I'll just go straight to the point on today's topic. I'll start with Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch it's a good team, but facing a Zamalek team that is very physical and also that is also smart in terms of these competitions in CAF Champions League and CAF Confederations Cup. It will be very good for Stellenbosch to prepare themselves very well in terms of suffering, not trying to make sure that they control games in terms of suffering, because those games need you to be mentally strong in terms of suffering. When I'm looking at the Zamalek teams, they are very physical team. Zamalek, I've seen when they are playing against Sundowns. I've seen when they are playing last season when they were playing against. I think it was Younger. I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. Whereby they draw with Younger 2-2. that team is very physical. So, and also they are scoring with the headers. The one headers that they struggled with, FC Miniema. I don't know what it's FC Miniema where they lost 5-0. Maniema Union.
No. 5-0 was it Lunda Sul or Stade Malien? I can't remember. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so I think for me, it will be good for Stellenbosch to know how to suffer without the ball, not to be smart, because those competitions not need you to be the best in terms of ball rotation, the best. You don't have to play the best football when you're going into those competitions, but you have to be smart and make sure that you network connection. You need to make sure that the opportunity that you get, you capitalize it. So I think that's the best thing that Stellenbosch do when they are going into those I think that's the best thing that I think Stellenbosch can do when they are going to those competitions.
I wanted to ask you, Ongama, if you can hear me. Will Stellenbosch be back? They're currently number 7. So is it a case of they're building the thing, or are we going to see a thing where Supersport qualifies all the time but doesn't necessarily learn anything or come back? We see Kukune. Hey, network. Okay, let's do this. Ongama, request again. Let's see if it's going to work. But let me bring in for time. Trauma man. Hey, I've heard this word trauma so much today. How are you?
Hola, me out here. Mnandi, man, mnandi.
Mina ngimnandi, ngirelaxile. Angina stress, ngimeliwa the first. Uthini ngaletro?
No, ngiyabonga man, opportunity man, overthinking football. Echingene man egaming. Coming to game Stellenbosch. No man, in Steve Parker we know that we have a very technical coach. In South Africa we know how technical it can be. Yes, he's playing a team like Zamalek. We know the likes of Zamalek, go to their Egyptian Giants. Badala man, they are physical. But one thing you must know about Steve Parker, he knows how to play counter-attack football. And majority man, Zamalek, they play helicopter football. It's not exciting football. You know, North African football, which it's not that exciting, man. So yes, man. I see Steadies. Steadies is going to have a field day in that game if Steve Parker comes with the right attitude, because sometimes Steve Parker he is the one that loses the game, especially for the team. Maybe too much young players. It also says a lot. These young players, they've never played continental football. So especially the 5 LSE where they got a thrashing from Ipekane. So yeah, man. If it comes with the right, right mindset, no man, it's a field day for Steadies. That's one thing we'd love to see, especially for South African football. I mean, we want to build Bafana. We're playing AFCON, so we need those type of performances from our South African teams. And then
before you move on, can I ask you? I want to ask you the question that I was asking Ongama. Is this a case of their building experience, or are we just going to see another super sport? Plenty of times going into CAF Confed, but they couldn't take the next step because they're selling players and doing all that stuff. Abos Kukune Nabo, Bangena Baya Puma. Is that third best South African team in Africa sport, is it set for Stellenbosch to learn something from here, or are we just going to repeat the same thing we've been seeing with these other teams?
Yeah. No, it's set for Steve Parker. The likes of Steve Parker, man, let's not take anything away from the coach. He knows football. Yes, Stellis is selling players, but they always have a plan B. When you talk about the team that loses players, but they can always compete, it's the likes of Stellenbosch, because of how technically gifted the technical team is. I mean, they are really technicians. They can cook, especially Mauchiapega, man. These players, these teams that are taking Nishoba Fanroe and Nishoba Nabo Adams, they're from that team. So it says a lot from Upaka and his technical team. As you can see, coach there, TDC, joined him in the team. So there's a lot that's going to happen for Stellis. This is the right time for a team like Stellis. Those boys from Cape Town, they are really ballers, and they want to play for the patch, for the small town. We need this type of thing, man. Overthinking. This type of football is something that we need, especially as a South African. So yeah, man. I see greater heights for a coach like Steve Barker. I mean, even if he loses the team, he's left his mark. Lapago Stelis, that a team you don't need. Football is also business. That's one thing you can never take away from. Football is business, and Moutia Pega, the way Stelis is running, it's really running the business. TDC, they take those players, and Moutia Pega, player from TDC, when they come into the first team, you will never say that player was playing for TDC, because that's how much they want to play for a coach like Steve Barker in the small town of Stellenbosch. So yes, this is the right time for Steve Barker. This is a nice time for South African football. So yeah, he must just come to the party, especially the team that they are playing in the likes of Zamalek.
Okay. And then how do you feel about the others? Let's go to the Champions League.
Yeah.
Mamelodi Sundowns, Orlando Pirates.
Sundowns is man. Sundowns, yes, they've been playing, but there's been holes. I mean, this is not the Sundowns we know. Yes, of course, there've been a change of personnel. We've been seeing a very change of personnel, chopping and changing of coaches. But the quality they have, especially Team Bafana and the Sundowns, the quality they have. Going forward, yeah, man, we're gonna see a beautiful game against this Esperance. But from what I see, especially as we know, with the football is a game of opinion. So you have your own opinion, I have my own opinion. We don't have to be both right. So yeah, man, I don't see. Unfortunately, I don't see Sundowns surpassing that. Especially from last season, we saw them lose back to back to a team like Esperance. You know how physical those boys are, especially a back four, Esperance. I think it's still the same players that they played last season. So yes, they also changed personnel. We saw Miguel now joining Sundowns, but the way Adlalisa Kwane Sundowns, it's questionable. It's very questionable. It's not the Sundowns.
Do you think that the win now approach that Sundowns has is going to help them or hurt them? Because I say Kolento Yoguti, Coach Wako has been there for 7 years.
Yeah. Now it's really gonna hurt them, because number one, I don't think Mikel knows the philosophy of Shushan and Piano. I've never seen those type of combinations. Yes, we see them that they are playing, they move the ball around, but going back to the past games, Moutia Pega against Mpeni, Moutia Pega against TS Galaxy, it's very questionable, especially going into Africa. When we talk about continental football, it becomes a different ball game. Yes, you don't have to play the best football in Africa, but a team like Sundowns, we know, man, the stature of Sundowns. They play. I can say that if the boys are not, one thing about Sundowns, they've been playing CAF for the past 7 years, but we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. It says a lot, because you can see how you can say back program, and Sundowns they play. You can say maybe Brazilian type football. They don't have a philosophy, which you can say it's a South African philosophy. Pirates, you can see the way Pirate plays. I mean, the movement from Tito, that's South African. I mean, show poaching. So those aspects, they bring a lot, man. If we want to win the World Cup, we must leave this mentality to European football. We play like robots. So we must have our own roots. So yeah, man. Coming to Mikel, he doesn't know the philosophy of Sundowns. I feel like he's gonna come with a helicopter approach type football, because he knows what type of Esperance plays aerial football. We know them boxes. I mean, those crosses inside the boxes. They wait for those headers because they have very long, tall players. I mean, so yeah, man, it's really gonna be a technical game, but I don't see Mikel overcoming that. So yeah,
I for see Pirates. Just no, sorry Pirates for time, yeah.
Yeah, for Pirates, sorry, yeah, it's written in the books. It doesn't need or overthinking or such things like that. Pirates is this season, it's a lot happening, man. Look at the technicality from the Spanish guitar. I mean, when you let a Spanish guitar play a top 8, it's like you are literally giving him the cup, because from his history, we know that man really knows how to play knockout stage. He doesn't lose knockout stage. That's one of his biggest flexes as a coach since he arrived in South Africa. He doesn't know how to lose a top 8. So yes, man. We're playing the likes of Alcha. I don't see them overcoming a team like Pirates, especially going forward. So yeah, man. Straight win Orlando Pirates. We might even see a goal first, but yeah, let's not go there too much. But yeah, man. Straight win Pirates, man.
Okay. No, Trauma, thank you so much. Trauma, man. Hey, ngizobantu bathi trauma ngapha. Waza wangena wayibeka kahle. But it's Thank you.
Ngiyabonga, mngani.
Thank you. Let me go to Pushida Coffee. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Oti, I'm good, thanks. How are you, man?
Man, I'm good. Tell me about this draw. Champions League, Confed. We've got 3 South African teams in there.
I think it's a great thing, man, that we have at least 3 South African teams in the quarterfinals. So it just shows how much our football has grown over the years. But you know, the most important thing also is Sundowns and Pirates have got a clear path of both, going all the way to the final. So I was just worried when they were making the draw there that the teams might meet each other.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that to happen, And look, when I look at, I think so far, if you look at the most challenging path, if you look at both teams, Sundowns and Pirates, I think Sundowns has got the most difficult path to the final. But I see them beating Esperance. Why I see them beating Esperance is because Miguel comes from there. He will definitely have some info that can help the team to try and overcome Esperance. And also for the fact that Sundowns has got a very good team and they lost to the same team last season. So I think they'll do their homework, they'll do their due diligence to make sure that this time around they win. So
Can I ask you, Bushida? Can I ask you, is Sundowns? Could you make the argument that Sundowns is overthinking a lot of these changes? Because in the losses they've suffered previously, it's not like they were outplayed. It's just a moment's lapse of concentration, and the other team scores and wins. Is it that with Sundowns? Have they done too much, changing coaches and changing play and changing background? Was it warranted?
So if I can tell you, the same thing that you said is the reason why they hired this guy, right? Because if you look at Mokwena, one of the biggest downfall with Rulani is a great coach. I think he's even better than the current guy. But what let him down was the experience. And especially when it came to those critical moments in the game where he had to read the game and make proper substitutions, he always finds himself lost. We saw it even when he was playing against Pirates in the final. For some reason, the pressure gets to him and he loses the plot. But this guy, what I've seen with this guy, if you've been watching Sundowns game, Sundowns is not playing the best football at the moment, even though they beat Pirates 4-1. But if you look at all other games that they're playing against small teams, you will see that this guy, especially the game against Marume Gallants, if it was another coach, he would have easily lost that game, because Marume Gallants played way, way better than Sundowns that day and they deserved to win. But those critical changes and those critical, switches within the game to ensure that, you change those small moments, you bring in Ribeiro from playing wide and then he brings him in the middle. That's how he managed to score that first goal. And then this guy has got something special about him, this coach. And I think that's what's going to give them the edge.
I'm sorry, I'm just fascinated about this Cardoso conversation. Okay, can I ask? Can you make an argument that maybe Cardoso gets his first plan wrong, and because he has to come back? You speak about the Marumo Gallants game, he had to make changes in order to come back. You speak about some of the other games he played, he has to make changes in order to come back. Can you afford to do that in the Champions League knockouts?
Exactly, and I like the fact that you said that. One thing about such competitions, right? It doesn't take great tactics to win such games. It takes the most brave coach most of the time to win such games. And if you look at how the likes of Ahly win this cup, They don't win because they are literally the best team from the first whistle until the last whistle in each game. But they win because for some reason they have, I'm going to use this way, they've got balls, the bigger balls than any other team to be able to manage games in critical moments. And that's how they're always winning. And that's something that I picked up with this guy. He's got balls to even make changes immediately after when he sees something going wrong. He doesn't wait and he doesn't mind to make 2-3 changes at the same time. And those changes, you'll see them work. So,
okay. Yeah.
So going to Pirates, I mean, I think Pirates has all it takes to go through all the way to the final, and I'm saying this because, especially if you find, I've seen a statement from the MC Alger's boss, and I could already pick up that he is undermining Pirates by saying, he's glad that he avoided an Arabic derby. So he's actually happy that he met Pirates, and I'm thinking they're gonna try and play, come all guns blazing, thinking they're gonna beat Pirates. They're not gonna give the Pirates the respect they deserve. And one thing I know about Pirates, if you wanna play pound for pound with Pirates and you don't know how they can hurt you, especially with speed up front, they will kill you. And that's what I see happening. So I think Pirates will easily win this game with these guys. And a clear path for them to go to the final, because I also don't see the likes of Pyramids stopping Pirates, especially with the way they play, the North African style of play of always wanting to play through the wings and not technically gifted or not skillful, not too skillful to play the game through the middle. They always want to go wide, bring crosses inside, and they're very predictable. So I see Pirates
But hasn't that been the winning football though? All these years.
It has been, but what I'm saying is, if you look at South African football, right, the way we play, it's actually very difficult for these guys to try and manage our teams. That's why even Bafana, whenever we play North African teams, chances are we always win, because the way we play is very difficult for these guys to manage. And the same reason why if Pirates went to Algeria and won, and went to Al Ahly and won. And I see us winning also here. So I want to go also to Stellies, right? I actually don't see Stellies beating Zamalek. I don't see them beating Zamalek for the fact that Stellies' strong points or strong angles within the game is playing, absorbing pressure, playing on transition, and actually scoring when you least expect them to score. And if they're gonna go with that type of mentality, these guys are used to that type of football. They are used to teams that sit back, and almost all the teams that they play with in Africa sit back and hope to score on a counter attack. They'll easily beat Stellies. But hence, whenever they meet a team that is willing to attack, like a Pirates, they really suffer, because they get a shock of their life, and they can't contain the amount of attacks that they get from a team that is willing to play football, not just run all the time.
Do you think that De Jong and them are going to have an impact in this game? Because I hear you about sitting back, but there was a football Stellenbosch was playing earlier in the season where they were on the front foot, they were committing people forward, they were trying to put people under pressure. I mean, a game that comes to mind is the game they played versus Pirates, for example. Do you think that Steve Barker has to go that route for this one?
No, but to be honest, Oti, that game against Pirates, if you look at it, let me just talk about any other game that Pirates has lost this season. If you really analyze the game, there is no team. The teams that managed to beat Pirates are the teams that really sat back and absorbed pressure. And I want to tell you, I mean, Stellies came to Orlando and they won. But if you look at the amount of chances they created in that game, it wasn't much. It was just on few transitions, and they managed to score and they won the game. So I always listen to people and saying, yeah, these guys were playing football, they were going forward. None of the teams that managed to beat Pirates this season went out all attack. Even the Cape Town City, when they were playing in Cape Town, they sat back the whole time and they got 2 chances and they scored 1. And that was it. Even Stellies and Steve Barker knows exactly how to beat Pirates. That's one thing I give it to him. He does not go all out. So the moment he goes all out, is late in the game when the players are really tired. That's when you will see it goes all out, knowing very well that there's less chances of Pirates running because the front forwards are probably tired at that time.
Okay, no. Pushira, for time, I'm going to jump in. Let me bring in Gustavo. Gustavo, welcome.
What's it?
I'm Nandi Prime. Kinetro.
I was, in terms of the Champions League, I think this is one of the best in terms of the teams that are there. It's actually beautiful. We don't have a struggling team that had a great last season. Now they are playing relegation football. We have the cream of the top or cream of the crop, whatever they say in English. You look at Abu Al Hilal, the best team in Sudan currently. Abu Al Ali is number 2, Zamalek is number 1. I think the only third place team is Rabat. But they're also doing fairly well because they're behind 2 points behind the Rulani's team, So you look at that and look at the teams, you're like, okay, we have a real competition. We can expect the unexpected, Can expect the unexpected. Some teams might prove why they are there. You look at Esperance, they have been on a crazy run, very, very dangerous team. Mamelodi Sundowns, currently the best team in the country, very dangerous, just to pinpoint something that the previous speaker said. He said that the MCLJ coach said instead avoided Arabic derby. I agree. Because playing Al Ahly in the knockouts as an Arabic team is probably the worst thing you can do. They will walk over you. They have this thing of making other teams look stupid, basically, especially the northern teams. They walk over them. Whether it's a final, semi-final, it's easy for Al Ahly. It's easy for Al Ahly. But beautiful draw in terms of the CAF Champions League draw, and I think we are in for a good show. This is time for Coach Miguel to show why Sundowns brought him in.
Can I ask? Okay, I'll ask you the other question. How do you think South African teams stack up with these other teams? Because you've spoken about, Abu Al Hilal, Abu Pyramids, Abu Esfar, and all of those type of teams. Where do we rank there? If you're just ranking the teams now, are we high up, or is it just man?
No, we're up there with them. If you can notice, there's a reason why they fear playing the South African teams. As of currently, Mamelodi Sundowns. There's a reason why those Northern African teams they fear. There's a reason why Al Ahly possibly could have wanted to avoid Sundowns, but here they might even meet. Where we rank is we rank as highly as the best. Orlando Pirates is up there with the Al Ahly. Mamelodi Sundowns up there with the Al Ahly, with the Tunis currently. In terms of Stellenbosch, I don't think not yet. Nah, not yet. That's what I can say. But we rank up there with the teams. I think in terms of my power rankings, I think we are currently evenly matched. That's why I'm saying we are in for a surprise. We don't know what's gonna happen.
Mara, isn't the evenly matched, man? Isn't it maybe a little biased because Sundowns had been proclaimed as one of the best teams in Africa, or top team in Africa. What Abu Al Ahly are winning back to back. Abu with that, Abu ES Tunis.
You can be the best in Africa, OT. In terms of how you do, you can beat Al Ahly in the group stages. Those Northern African teams, they win when it matters. They know how to get over the edge. They know how to get over the line. That's the reason why you've been seeing them dominating, because they know how to get over the line. And once they get through our teams, especially the Southern African teams, for them it's a free way to winning the trophy. For them it's a free way to going into the final. If you can walk past Sundowns easily, if you can walk out Pirates easily, that's why you've seen Pirates do so well against Al Ahly. But the only time when it mattered, Al Ahly won.
Yeah.
So you look at those things, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But then as soon as we
can have that element of going over the line. I want to see how Coach Rivero does in the knockout stages. We've seen him how he does, especially during cup competitions locally. You know, I want to see how he's going to do. I want to see how Coach Miguel is going to do when he gets to the knockout stages. Interestingly enough, you look at Coach Miguel, the reason why he was brought into Mamelodi Sundowns, last season was his first season in Africa. He won them the trophy again, Tunis, after not winning it the previous season. He won them the trophy. He got them to the Champions League final in his first season. He didn't need seasons and seasons and seasons to gel, to understand the type of football that he needs to play, to understand his team on how he's going to compete in all these competitions. However, sort of found it easy, if I can put it like that, to win against Mamelodi Sundowns, home and away, and to win just by 1-0. To win just by 1-0, that should tell you something about the coach, that he understands what he needs to do. You know, he understands what he needs to do. But when it comes to mentality, that's why I don't also see Stellenbosch going beating Zamalek. Because when it comes to mentality, this is not an African team and their players. It's pride. They take pride in winning these competitions. That's why you see their federations giving them those free times to say, go rest. They can, in 2 weeks, they can easily play 2 games.
Yeah.
You know, they take pride in these competitions. That's why they're always able to get over the line and win these
7
competitions.
games behind.
7 games behind. Currently, what's this team? Al Hilal. Now, I think they are 7 games behind, yet they are number 2, not too far off from number 1. So you look at the rest that these teams are given to say, focus on this competition. We understand as a country, as a federation, we understand, go compete. And you are representing us. We'll see who gets to the final. You know, but on the other side, there was Stellenbosch. If they don't win it, then I guess the
Maraninan Peggy Ipergate. Laban Zamalek, current holders. Current holders. By winning last year, I will trophy right now.
Oti, I'm sure you have been following Ipekene this season. I'm sure, and you know, it's just if they don't reach the final, and if Zamalek doesn't reach the final, but if, however, they are to meet the final, I see Pekene walking over Zamalek. That's what I can see.
Is this because they beat Pirates in the final, and ever since then we've just thought about them that way?
No. It's based on this season, purely based on this season. You look at what they are doing in Morocco. They are bulldozing over everyone. You look at what they did in the group stages. They pulled over everyone. They bullied Stellenbosch to a point of no return that side. So you look at that, you say, hey, let's see how they do in the group stages. But you never know. Some teams are more determined like others. You look at Abo Rabat. Look at how they are doing. That is a wild horse for me. That is a wild horse for me. You look at how they did in the group stages. You can tell, you can see the determination. And it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. I wanna see how it goes. Hopefully we can meet Abomzala in the final. Hopefully we can both go to the final. Sibe ne weekend nama weekend amnandi if it's gonna be ama weekend. Relaxeni kube mnandi. Soweto, Pitori, chill relaxing, enjoy football while we water the pitch and live there dry.
Okay, no good stuff for time. Let me bring it. Ogama, is your network a bit better now?
Yeah. I think I'm a little bit better, Oti. I don't think I will struggle anymore. Just change the location to be in a better space.
I don't know where we were.
I'll just continue now.
Yeah, you can continue if you.
We're done. I was speaking about Stellenbosch and how they were performing with the Zamalek team. I was gonna jump into Orlando Pirates and also Sundowns. I'll just wanna wrap it up on OT. I don't wanna stretch it more in order to give other people a chance. Looking at into a Sundowns team when OT, Coach Miguel Cardoso came with a philosophy of not enjoying more of ball position, but sitting back and understand what the oppositions are coming with. Then when the second half bounces, he changes his tactics to make sure that he suffocates you and also gets the results. That's one thing that I observed in T's Sundowns team. And the other coaches are not observing this thing because they are underestimating Sundowns because they are sitting back. But one thing that the Sundowns team is doing, they are checking your game plan. What are you coming with in your game plan? Then when the second half comes, they change the tactics and then they try to suffocate you and also to get the results. That's the first thing that I observed in the Sundowns team. They know how to get results when it matters the most. So what I think this Sundowns team is the most dangerous team when it comes to getting what it matters. I'm not gonna be saying I'll be.
No,
So, sure.
I just wanted to ask. It's one thing to do it versus Marumo Gallants, you know, but can you afford to take a 1-0, to concede a goal early on in the knockouts of the Champions League?
It also goes straight to the players' mentality when out. This Sundowns team has been in the CAF Champions League for a couple of times. When the players are strong enough in terms of the mentality, in terms of the physical approach, and also everything that is going hand in hand in the game, they can bounce and also get the game in equalized and also maybe get into a draw because these games are games of dreams. Everything is possible. You can score, you can concede, and also push in, also get another goals to get a goal for a win. So it's possible. And out, would I be happy? It could be. I could happy for the national team, but for the club, I won't be happy. I won't be happy for Sundowns to go straight to the final. Never. With any other game, I'll never happy. But for national team, I won't be happy for national team because the more the players are exposed into those grounds from Africa, it's getting easy for other players when they are going to the national team, and also when we are going straight to the Moroccan AFCON, it will be a little bit better for the teams when they are progressing more into the CAF Champions League. That's my view in terms of the Sundowns. It's possible for Sundowns to go straight to the finals, but because the reason being when I'm saying this, it's possible is that Miguel Cardoso is not the coach that enjoys position. That's the first thing. He doesn't enjoy position, and he's a coach that also have an element of a counter attack. That's one thing that is working in African football. So that's another strategy that can work for Miguel Cardoso to push until to the final. But it's possible. It will depend into the mentality of the players. Are they strong enough to push until the final? It will depend into them. I want to go into Orlando Pirates for time's sake. For Orlando Pirates, I think Orlando Pirates they have possibilities. Also Orlando Pirates, but in terms of the player personnel, I think Orlando Pirates still need to enforce whether they can try to enforce with the players from DTC, because there are games in our OT whereby you would see players like Aborele, they don't have enough steam into the game. You need someone that can push the team until the final. So I think Orlando Pirates need to have another player personnel whereby they can have another reflection about Relay, and also reflection whereby a Tito player has been taken out to the game, a Relay player has been taken out to the game. They can have options in terms of going forward. In terms of defense, I don't want to involve me in terms of this level. Let's take it away. In terms of the defense, OT, the defense of Orlando Pirates still need players like Abo Nda needs to recover. Nda needs to recover. When you have a Sistane that is injured, you can't have a Ogi and also a Ogi and also Sbisi that have the same personnel in terms of the play. You need a player that is physically and also that is technical in terms of the game model when you are going up in Africa, because those games when you are playing in Africa, there are those crosses that are coming whereby players like Abo Smith struggles in terms of the aerial duels. So you need Abonda in helping the team in also to progress into the stages. So my overall thing when I OT for South African football, it's possible for those teams to go straight into the finals. Would I be happy? In terms of the national team, I would be happy. But in terms of the team's personnel, I won't be happy. Because I won't be happy for Orlando Pirates in any given time for them to play into the final. But for the national team, it will be great for the national team and also for us to progress into the AFCON Champions League. I think that's my overall take. And also for Stellenbosch, it's also possible if they cannot play the most fancy football when they are playing into the CAF Champions League, they can maybe park the bus and make sure that they have several moments into the game and also suffocate the opposition in moments whereby they can score the goals. That's how you win those competition. Don't play smart, don't play the best football, but play smart and also to get the results. That's my overall take on OT.
No, Ongama, thank you so much. Guys. Lekana karina ako, guys. Lekana karina ako. Velile, he sent a message grouping. Guys, I'm not allowed to say anything. Just DM me if you want to be in the group. Anyway, okay. Stellenbosch, they're currently losing to Richards Bay. 1-0. Hey, this is interesting because I feel like we have we're doing that South African thing where we kind of put our teams on pedestals and we say that our teams are so good and all of that stuff. And it's fine. Maybe on the eye, we look good. Maybe on the eye, everything is fine and all of that stuff. But the truth of the matter is that the North and some of the West, Central and West, have been dominating this thing. We've got 2 Champions Leagues with all of our good football and all of that stuff. So I think we have to also be realistic when we sit down and we look at this and say that, okay, guys, it's not going to be as easy as we're making it out to be. These are the top teams all over the place. All over the place. I was reading it now, you know. MC Alger, that people, Alger, that people are speaking about, number 1 in the Algerian league. ES Tunis, number 1 in the Tunisian league. They've been going crazy. Elias Mokwena has been doing bits there. You know, Pyramids is currently number 1 in Egypt. AS FAR number 3, Morocco, and we know Morocco, Mane. Ufoga Mokwena is doing something there. Al Hilal number 3 on their side. Al Ahly number 2. These are really good teams. These are really good teams. And that's the point that I'm saying. Trauma. They can be number 1. This is knockout, not league. Says trauma. Yeah, and they've knocked us out even when we've looked like it's incredible football. Sundowns has broken 2 records. They've got the most points at this point in the league, I think, ever. They've scored the most goals at this point in the league ever. But it's no different to how they've been performing in the other years. And they still got knocked out by these teams that we're looking down upon. So I think we have to look at that. But when I think about it, I think Stellies and the Orlando Pirates, funny enough, play CAF type football for me. I think Pirates has the ability to suffer a little bit, but then also hit on the break. We saw it versus Al Ahly. When Al Ahly was going at them, instead of defending, Coach Jose said, not so counter. We've seen Coach Jose playing versus Mamelodi Sundowns and having a team that's quiet for most of the game and then all of a sudden coming out and scoring. That's how Mamelodi Sundowns has been knocked out of these cups before. So I think there is an element of, Pirates playing the football that's needed. Also, Pirates having a knockout gene, and maybe it might not correlate when you speak about CAF Champions League football versus MTN8 to Nedbank, but it does give you a little bit of confidence. It gives you a little bit of you've got a level-headedness when you go into the tough spaces of knockout football, which is what Pirates has shown, having won all the knockout tournaments that we have here, except for the Carling knockout, right? So that might be an edge. Then, of course, there's the question of Mamelodi Sundowns. Mamelodi Sundowns has changed. Mamelodi Sundowns is not a family-friendly club. I've been saying it's not a family-friendly, I'm an old coach who's been here for 12 years. So then I'll lead you through, we're going to be fun and what. It's now a cutthroat team. And this will be one of the big tests for cutthroat Mamelodi Sundowns. Mikel Garoso is not coaching like a guy who knows that he's got 5 years on the docket. He has to coach like a guy who's looking for results. So I want to see how that plays out versus ES Tunis. Because that's very interesting. ES Tunis has been the team that knocked out Mamelodi Sundowns, but also it's the quarterfinals, man. Mamelodi Sundowns finds a way to get past quarterfinals. They usually fall out semis, right? So that's a very interesting thing. But I think Sundowns had to make this change. Because like I said, in as much as we're speaking about Mamelodi Sundowns and saying our football has not done much here. So maybe you need Abokadoso to play ES Tunis type football, to play the Northish type football in order to get over the hump. I still have my reservations about everything Sundowns have done up to this point, because I don't think the problems were so big that you needed to do such an overhaul. But you also understand that after 9 seasons since you last won it, Mamelodi Sundowns, maybe this is the drastic thing that you need to do in order to win it. So it's very, very interesting to see what's going to happen. Look, it's the CAF Champions League, guys. It's not the most beautiful football that wins. It's not the most, great-looking team. These teams are ugly, man. They play ugly football. They just, is it Collar, the coach? He doesn't care about pleasing the eye. He's there to win. So let's see what happens. Hopefully, knowing that Pirates is at its peak right now as well, knowing that Sundowns is at its peak right now in terms of the football they've been playing and the records that they've had in the previous years, I think that's going to serve us good. Stellies, hey man, if Chiefs can chase their way to a Champions League final, nothing is stopping Stellies from chasing the Confed and getting to the final. So let's see what's going to happen there, guys. For time's sake, my favorite word, for time's sake, it is 9 o'clock. Thank you guys so much for joining me on a Friday. I know I've missed a couple of shows. There's been a lot happening, but also the midweek show will fall away for the next month or so. So I will come back more on Fridays as well, just to cover that time too. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to the panelists. Thank you to people in the comments. And before I go, hey, you guys have said some crazy things. The thoughts and views expressed by those on the panel and those in the comments are not those of Overthinking Football or its host, George Mokwena. I just have to make sure. I know, well, things said in the beginning. But guys, I'll see you then tomorrow for the Pirates and Sundowns games. I believe Pirates 3:30, Sundowns 4:45. So I'll see you then. But guys, it's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. Bye, everyone.